What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a movie called Last Night in Soho, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Thomasin McKenzie, and Matt Smith. First of all, let me discuss the genius that is Edgar Wright. We all know his films to be the fast-paced, music-induced films that they are. The first movie I recognized, Shaun of the Dead. Alright? And from Shaun of the Dead, spewed and spawned other movies like it. Other parodies that made fun of the genre of movies that came out at the time. For the most part, they were hilarious. The ones that I saw. The ones I actually saw. Alright? And then a little bit later on down the line, we get a movie called Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which I thought was very fun, exciting, entertaining. The best thing about this movie is that if you're trying to do a live action adaptation of a video game, this is the movie to blueprint from. And the crazy thing is, this didn't originate from a video game. It was a comic book, but it imitated it so well. It's flawless. I loved this movie. Loved it. All right. Then much later on down the line, we get Baby Driver. Now, this is where Edgar Wright got the chance to flex his musical taste. And what I mean by that is he showed a style of where everything went in rhythm. Every action, every movement. The gunshots were shot in rhythm to the music in the background of the movie. All right, and that was something I've never seen before this came out. Not the way this was done. In no way. All right. So now we have Last Night in Soho. And my question is, will this be just as good as Scott Pilgrim or Baby Driver? We're about to find out. Let's go. Last Night in Soho, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you are going to seriously sit here and try to tell me that Downtown, whatever that song is called, is not looping over and over in your head from the continuous trailers, you're lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself. Stop it. Stop it. Last Night in Soho. It's pretty much about this young lady who is trying to pursue her fashion career. So she takes a trip out to London. And while doing all this, just know the movie informs you from the jump that she has the ability to see spirits through mirror images. All right? So we're keeping that in mind. So she gets down to London. She's staying in a dorm with her friends who are, for a better word, a-holes. Alright, and so she has to move out and get a hotel or motel or whatever the hell. And this, something about this hotel. It's very eerie, very strange. It's a bit of a haunting going on here. So the room that she picks, when she falls asleep, she drops into a world or behind the eyes of a passed away spirit named Sandy, who was an inspiring singer from back in the 60s or something like that. Okay? And so she sees everything through Sandy's eyes. And eventually something happens as to where a murder mystery ensues. Sorry. And that is the premise of the movie. Positives. This movie had great visuals. Okay, and one thing about it was the mirror images. The mirror images in this movie were so on point. It was like, I knew it would be like this from the trailer when I watched it. When she embodies and takes in everything that happens to Sandy in the movie, it's almost like symmetrical. It is symmetrical just watching this. The way they complement each other in this movie. The characters complement each other. The things that she sees through Sandy's eyes. She sees everything that's going on. She feels it. Each time she goes to sleep, the feeling gets stronger. She starts to get more intact with what's going around her in her her dreams. I'm sorry. And the way it's done, it's just, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Once again, it takes me back to movies like Scott Pilgrim and the way the effects were done in that. But this is completely on another level. All right, trust me on that. Then there's the music. This is the part I couldn't wait to get to. They for a while, I was getting really tired of the whole 1960s throwback music that a lot of these artists were trying to put out, for like years, Adele. And so when I watched this movie, I kind of expected it to be some 1960s type songs, 60s, 50s, whatever, in this movie. I expected that. But what I didn't expect is the quality of songs they picked. Edgar Wright really went through his record collection and he didn't hurry up. He didn't hurry through that. He took his precious time. He had to. There were some songs in this movie that I don't think I've ever heard before. Some I did. Some I haven't heard in a long time. But the songs they picked for this movie, they weren't your run-of-the-mill 60s songs. They were very good songs. The music was spectacular. I haven't heard a great soundtrack like this in quite a while. Let's just be honest. Okay, so kudos to that. Kudos to that. Another thing that I liked about this movie, Anya Taylor-Joy. She was the star. Of course, she was one of the screen stealers in this film. She stole the screen. But it's just something about Anya Taylor-Joy. It's the look. It's the way she carries herself. All right? She has a unique look, first of all. A very unique look to herself that a lot of female actresses don't have. And she brings a confidence that a lot of female actresses don't bring. And I admired all of that. She is hands down the best actress in this movie. It's no shade to Thomasin McKenzie. She did her thing too, but Anya Taylor-Joy, that you are just a unique creature. All right? She really embodies that character. She really embodies it. And I didn't think she could do it because she never really played a lot of characters like this until of recent. Loved that. A last thing about this that I liked, the twist. Of course, the twist. Okay? And with this one, it's not like a groundbreaking twist. Okay? But it is a twist that if they did not make this twist happen, this movie, it wouldn't it wouldn't be the way that it is. It came out, okay? It wouldn't have meant nothing towards the end. It would have been absolutely nothing to it. And there's something about that end that I gotta mention too, but we'll get to that later on. Just for right now, the twist really kind of helped out in a way. To a point of where if whatever happened didn't happen the way that it happened, it would have been just another generic murder mystery. If you want to put it like that. Alright? Love that. Now let's get to the negatives. First negative. There is a character in this movie played by a guy named Michael Ejoa or something like that. Alright, I'm not even going to try to mess his name up even more. But this poor guy is somebody who has a big crush on Thomasin McKenzie's character throughout the movie. And yes, it's okay to have a crush on somebody and like somebody. It's cool. But it's the way that you do it. It's the way that you have a crush on somebody. And they went out of their way, or Edgar Wright went out of his way to make this man look like a fool throughout the entire film. I felt embarrassed for this guy. He did everything he could for her. He backed her up. He had her back all the time. She barely even acted like she was interested in this guy throughout the movie. But he, time and time again, got right back up and kept just crawling up her leg. I could say other words, but I don't want to get too raw with this. But Jesus Christ, man, have some integrity about yourself. All right? After he saw that she was not quite all there in the head, he still came running back over and over and over. And it annoyed me. That annoyed me at a point. Or it made me feel bad for him. But then I just got annoyed with that character. They did him so wrong. For being the only black character in this movie, that was rough. That was rough for me to watch. Moving on. Another negative about this movie. There could have been so much more to this film. This film is rated R, right? It really didn't have that rated R feel. Now, I know there were times and points in this movie where Edgar Wright chose to get a little raunchy with it because, you know, we're talking about the 60s and we're talking about singers and what they were made to do back in the day compared to what they thought was going to happen. You know, and so they portrayed that well. And I understand that Edgar Wright was trying to be creative with this and let the art shine and not make this a porno straight out. I'm not asking for a porno, but it's just with the content and the context of what was going on in this film. I wanted to see a little more to this. All right? You have a woman who is in some way being pimped by her boyfriend. Okay? Thinking she's going to get this career started. What are we going to do with that? All right? We can only go so far. Right? But you can go a little further if you wanted to. That's how I felt. They can go a little further with this. A little further. They chose to do it the way they wanted to do it. One last negative about this. This movie took a very stupid turn towards the end. After the twist was revealed, something about this film just got a little loony. And it didn't have to go this way. After the twist, there could have been some way that it went that would have better executed than what it was. Because at the end, it reminded me of another movie that ended on a bad note. It was already horrible, but it ended so badly that scene. There's a certain part about that scene that was like, oh, this is just like that movie, and I can't even show that movie because that's going to give away the ending. But it was very bad, and before the ending even happened, I felt the movie getting stupid because there's a point in the movie where a bunch of ghost tricks, so to put it, kept showing up, and they kept popping up over and over and over again. I was like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then we got the end. All right. So with that said, I have to give this an I cool. All right. An I cool. Yes. Yes. It would have so easily been a hell yes. But that ending just murdered everything. Not just the murder in the movie. It murdered my eyes, my brain watching this. Press the like button. Share this video. If you haven't subscribed, you better do it.